Hi everyone, Bruno Recommends Records here again, and yeah, it's tag season, so I'm trying another tag, actually two more tags as you noticed in my thumbnail and the title of this video. There's two prog rock tags out there. One comes from Alex from Beer and Vinyl channel, and it's the third year in a row he's putting out a prog rock tag, which I never tried because I'm new on prog rock, to be honest with you. I just started collecting or buying records, prog rock records, well, let's say more than usual because I had only a few since 2023, probably. So 2 years on the row getting to know prog rock. I knew prog rock, don't get me wrong, but it never was that kind of thing to me to buy in on the vinyl format. So I've been doing that a lot in the last 2 years. So I decided to give a go this year, and I'm gonna do. There's another prog rock tag out there from Art, and he has his channel North Carolina Vinyl Picker. So two really well-known names that I followed their channel for quite a while, not with his channel, with my older channel, but I started following with his channel. So yeah, let's do this in one go, in two parts, but just one video. Let's see what happens. So let's start with Beer and Vinyl Prog Rock Tag 2026, and it's 13 prompts. So let's go for the first one. Favorite progressive release or pickup from 2025? Well, I didn't buy any record from 2025 that can be considered prog rock. Well, not until now, at least. But my favorite pickup from 2025 related with prog rock was this record from Sweet Smoke, which is a British band that moved to Germany for, not a British, sorry, an American band who moved to Germany for quite a long time. And they've put out a few records. This is probably the most well known from them. And I love the cover. And when I went on holiday last August to Germany, to Berlin, I was able to buy a copy in very good shape, and it wasn't that expensive. It was like 23 pounds or something, and it's an original one. And yeah, so most listened to progressive band artists in 2025. So I'm gonna speak about a band that another channel already spoke related to this tag, and I'm in the same position, which is it took me a long time to get into Genesis. I'm gonna show Foxtrot, which is probably the record I listen to the most from Genesis. And Genesis probably were the band I listened to the most in terms of prog rock this year. Well, I listen to a lot of prog rock, so it's like it could have been between Genesis and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but yeah, let's go with Genesis. And yeah, it took me a long time to get into Genesis actually, because all the other bands, like the iconic big names in prog rock, were pretty easy to get into. Genesis has this kind of, it comes from folk rock a little bit, and it has all this theatrical theme, not only live. Peter Gabriel, we know that Peter Gabriel used to do like those kind of things with the masks and all that stuff, but yeah, this is one of my favorite bands right now. I've been listening to a lot, and I just can't stop. Being Foxtrot, the album that I've been listening to the most, at least at the moment. There you go. Third prompt, progressive album celebrating 50 years, released in 1976. So I have a few, but I believe that they're not. If someone's going to show this, it's not going to be a lot like the most, I don't know, common choice, let's say. But I really love this record, and I've been really getting into this band, well, at least until a certain point, which is Manfred Mann's Earth Band, and this album, The Roaring Silence, which I bought also in Germany, but this was in April, if I'm not wrong. I was pretty lucky to find a US first edition, but it has like this cut, which, if it's US press and was bought in the United States, I believe it meant that it was on the cheaper bins. But if you find something like this, or like a cut on the side in an European country and it's a US record, it means that's an import. Don't ask me why, but yeah. So there you go, in pretty good shape. I just love this album. Fourth prompt, In Memoriam, an artist we lost in 2025, and I'm going with John Lodge. Although this album, it's not, I don't consider this album a prog rock album, but and I know that Moody Blues is not really a progressive band, but it's, we can consider like a proto prog rock band. But yeah, he was a bass player that I really admired, so it was quite a loss. This is his first solo album, because his first album wasn't solo, it was with Justin Hayward from Moody Blues as well. So this is the first one he did only on his name, John Lodge, and it's a so-and-so album, but it's a Roger Dean cover, and I just love Roger Dean covers. It has quite a few songs. Let's say that I really like half the album. The other half, it's like, So, fifth prompt, Back Like We Never Left, show a great comeback album. So, the band I'm going to show, the comeback album, they already had a comeback which lasted longer until that. But I'm talking about Focus. But they did a record after that first comeback. They did Focus 9 New Skin, which was released in 2006. And then between 2006 until they put out this record in 2012, it was 6 years, so quite a period of time. They were playing live and all that stuff, but they changed the guitar player on this album and the bass player. The bass player is different right now. The guitar player is still the same. Let's say that it's not on the level of Jan Ackerman, but it's a really good choice. And I saw them live last year with this guitar player, and the guy is brilliant. This album, if you guys like Focus and didn't move forward in their career, at least Focus 10, which is this one, Focus 11 and Focus 12, they're really, really good albums, being this one my favorite, probably from the three, well, at least until now. Sixth prompt, the best hit from a prog band, or at least it should have been a hit. This was a hit, so... And I believe it's not going to be a common choice also. And I'm talking about Tool with their album Lateralus. This is a double album that comes like in this kind of black vinyl, but with picture disc, a little bit of picture disc. The sound quality isn't that great, to be honest with you. I would love that the band put out this album again. In just black record, or without being this picture disc or half picture disc version, because it doesn't sound that great. The album sounds great itself, the sound quality of this pressing, I'm telling. So the song I'm talking about is Schism, which is pretty well known because of his rhythmic kind of, I don't know, it's a weird rhythmic section from the bass line, but it became really iconic, and it goes as the years gone by. It's like that kind of song that people will notice, and there you go. So, seventh prompt, Prog's Got Heart, show an album with a beautiful ballad. This wasn't my first choice, but then I thought, you know what, that's, in terms of ballad, probably this is the record who has my favorite, what we consider my favorite kind of ballad in a prog rock record, and I'm talking about Mate Kudosai from King Crimson, which is included on Discipline. I know lots of people don't like the 80s from King Crimson, but I really love it. And yeah, here you go. I just love that ballad. That ballad is really, really awesome. It's really amazing. He has something that really touches me. Don't ask me why. Doesn't make me cry, doesn't make me emotional, but it gets me. Like, it's really, really good. This is a first press, UK first press, which has the original Celtic circle symbol that had to be changed later, so newer editions has a different kind of logo. Okay, 8. More Than Dragons and Wizards, show an album with a social political commentary or that focuses on a topic, whether a song or the whole album. No need to go full political if you aren't comfortable, but an album song about something going on in the world. So let's go with Rush with 2112, because this album, as I don't know if it was based on books like 1984 or there's the Fahrenheit with the number I can't remember right now. I'm terrible with names, sorry about it. But I think you know what I'm talking about. It also has like one movie or two versions already. And yeah, and the basis of this story is like a dystopian future where culture is not allowed, especially music. And I know that Neil Peart used to read a lot, and he was the one responsible for most of the lyrics, at least. And yeah, I believe that that's it. It might be related. So there you go. It's like a social political commentary, and you guys make like one and one plus one is two related with the present right now, a little bit all over the world. Yeah, and I'm not gonna go forward. So ninth prompt, or ninth prompt, how do you spell it? Gosh. Build your own. Who are 3-4 musicians that you would love to see make an album or play together? Well, I thought a lot on this question, and what I was about to answer with the project bit, which put like 4 musicians to play the King Crimson trilogy from the 80s, and those are very, very good musicians, although I'm not a big fan of Steve Vai. But anyway, let's say I thought a little bit more, and let's say that I would love to see an album with Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull, Tish Van Leer from Focus, Peter Gabriel, and J.D. Hughes from Gravy Train, and they all play flute. Let's say that I would love to see them do like a flute-themed album all together. Would probably sound amazing, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. That's my answer. So, prompt number 10, A Face for the Radio. Great album with horrible artwork. So, yeah, this is Raven. I don't know if that many people know about this band. It's a hard rock band with bits of prog rock. I don't know if it can be really considered as a prog rock band, but yeah, it has like a prog rock vibe within. And this album was recorded on 1976, and it hasn't been out since 2013, and this was put out by a Portuguese label. And let's say like the logo and the lettering are pretty good. I don't know why the hell the photo isn't that bad, but it shows these colors. It could have been a little bit more effort on the cover, actually. So yeah, there you go. It's a great album. It's a great album. If you don't know about Raven, I don't know if it's still available because there weren't too many copies out there. But yeah, the artwork is pretty rubbish, man. 11th prompt. Dream biopic. Who would you like to see a story about? Well, that's easy for me because I became really addicted on Keith Emerson. And let's say that he's like this iconic figure who had that presence live. I don't know any other musician who plays keyboards and had that kind of attitude with the keyboards, grabbing the keyboards and really heavy back then, jumping around, throwing knives and all that stuff. So I would really love to see, and he had a tragic death. I'm not going to say about it because I believe most of you know what happened with him, unfortunately. So I would really love to see a biopic about Keith Emerson. And you also had like that old rock and roll excess during the years that Emerson, Lake and Palmer were quite on top, and you have the Nice as well before Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So I would really love to see a biopic about Keith Emerson. That would be really interesting for me. 12. Prog whore. This is a funny prompt. He gets around. Show a progger who has their hands in everyone's pie. Well, I can't remember all the projects he was in, but let's say that, and I'm going to show this one, which is an album from 4 Elements from Yes. And Yes, back then was resumed to Chris Squire from that famous lineup. So Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howie. This is exactly the same album that has like the white thing instead of the black thing behind the lettering. It's just a different edition. And I think the image is slightly different as well. But yeah, I picked up this one really cheap, and I love that it wasn't the most well-known one or the most common one. That was the only reason why. Maybe I'll get a white one if I get for a cheaper price. Who knows? Because I'm a sucker for covers. But we're talking about Bruford. Bill Bruford. He was on Yes. He was on King Crimson. He was on UK, the band. And he had his solo projects besides the other bands that he was in. And I think he was on Genesis at some point, and all the participations he has in other artists' albums. So this guy was all over the place, and I think he was like a pretty easy favorite to work with. I don't know if the prompt or the question was about this, but that's how I interpreted. I hope I'm answering correctly. Last one. Artsy fartsy. I've seen some videos like commenting that artsy fartsy is like this. It sounds like this term by how was it called? I can't remember the expression, but it was really funny. Like this, like kind of rich kid, not rich kid, but like this, like social, economically good kid. I'm missing the word. Sorry, I'm really tired today. Ignore me. But yeah, some people were like saying that this was like an expression that didn't exist back then, and probably they would kick you out if you said artsy fartsy or something like that in the 70s. Get the fuck out of here, man. We just want to listen to music. But yeah, it's like a term that I'm used to, especially in Portugal. Not artsy fartsy. Actually, we started using it at some point. Really, the term artsy fartsy, not translated, and related more with pedantic, let's say. So I hope no one is gonna spank me in the comments, but apostrophe from Frank Zappa. This guy was, if you want to call artsy fartsy, I love Frank Zappa. I admire more Frank Zappa than I love Frank Zappa, let's say. I like specific stuff from Frank Zappa, at least now, until now. And this album, it's like an OG, US OG press The cover is a little bit beat up, but I bought it for quite a cheap price on eBay, and that was the main reason. And I thought it was more like Hot Rats because it's one of the most well-known albums and one of the most celebrated albums from Frank Zappa, at least solo, not with the Mothers of Convention. And yeah, let's say that this album is a little bit artsy-fartsy. It's still a little bit too much for me, not because in a genius sense, but maybe because it tries too much to get out of the normal and gets into the art thing. So it still don't work 100% for me. I like the album, I get it, but I prefer Hot Rats, to be honest with you. So there you go, artsy fartsy. I like Frank Zappa. Please don't kill me in the comments. And let's go for the other tag. And now we're going for the North Carolina vinyl picker tag, which has 10 prompts. So the first prompt, the album that pulled you into prog, the first progressive rock album that truly hooked you. And this is easy for me. This is Jethro Tull, songs from the Wood, because the first records that I've listened during the 90s that were a 90s band or punk hardcore from the 80s or something like that, it were Jethro Tull pretty much. Besides the Pink Floyds and all that stuff, that the most common commercial thing, or the phase of those bands, the commercial phase from those bands. So Jethro Tull was something that first I got with two records that were offered to me, and one was Stand Up and the other one was this one, Songs from the Wood, and I really love that. They're quite different, but I really loved both of them. And this is although it has folk, can be considered a prog rock album, and especially the first song. It starts wonderful. Songs from the Wood, the song is like amazing. It's like one of the best starters in any album ever, in my opinion. So this is a first UK edition with the green label and has the sticker. Not that is expensive, but it's kind of so-and-so. Hard to find for a good price. Oh, showing the record already again. Your prompt number 2, your Desert Island prog record. If you could only keep one prog album on vinyl forever, which one it will be, isn't it? So let's say Yes Songs. And this is, I'm not sure, this is the UK. I'm not going to take it out, but this one unfolds like a concertina, and this one, is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, and this one is the US, and it's different in terms of opening. It's kind of like, it's not like a gatefold. It has like, but you just turn like pages. So yeah, any one of these copies, they're in pretty good condition. This is one album that I bought a different edition for a very cheap price, and then I got so addicted to the album that I started getting better editions, and I got a UK edition of first press, but the cover was pretty beat up, and I still got into the point where I needed a pretty good copy, both records, both sleeve, as good as possible. That's how much I love this record. So it's a big record, 3 records, long as F. I'm not gonna say the swear word, you know what I mean. So yeah, I think this album would keep me satisfied for the rest of my life if I only had to choose one album on vinyl. Let's say so, until I got tired, but never know. which could be any album. So, the non-beginner prog album you love anyway. A prog album you love but wouldn't recommend to a newcomer. So let's say I really love this album. This is Snafu from East of Eden. I haven't heard the other albums. I got this album because I saw this on a vinyl record group on Facebook that I was in, and I saw this copy, and I saw the woman with the violin, and the cover got into my mind. So I found a copy for not a cheap price, but a very decent price, because this one can go to high prices, especially if you're looking for, you see the brown label, it's a mono. So yeah, this is prog, jazz fusion, artsy fartsy like the other question. I wouldn't recommend this to a newcomer to get into prog rock, but if you know already like the main records from prog rock and start getting into something different, this is like really, really, really good. This is an album that I just love. So, fourth prompt, best sounding prog album in your collection. The prog record that sounds absolutely incredible on your system. And this was easy for me because I have, it's The Nice Elegy. The cover is a little bit up, but as you can see, it's a promo on white label from Mercury. This is the US edition. And I have also the UK edition, which I think it's on another label, but I'm not gonna take it out. And usually the UK label is better than the US label when the first press is from UK. I believe that if the first press from US is from US, the US is better than the European or the UK version. Usually. But yeah, I bought this quite cheap. As you can see, the cover is a little bit up, but I thought like, oh, it's a promo. Let's get it. And I listened to it, and I put both copies playing one day just to see if this promo was as good as the first UK pressing. And it's like miles away in terms of quality. This is one of the best sounding albums that I have on my collection. This sounds amazing. I just really can't describe. If you know all the terms like the waves and the balance between the bass and the mediums and whatever you want to call it, I'm not an audiophile, but yeah, even me can notice that this sounds like heaven in terms of vinyl record playing, man. This copy is one of the best sounding copies ever in my collection. So, fifth prompt, the most underrated prog album you own, a prog album you feel deserves more attention. So, okay, something that unusual. This is Costa Blanca, a Spanish band, 1970s something, I can't remember. Terrible with dates with names. And it's called Viaje a la Patria. And this is a re-edition, because if you get the original of this album, they did only one album, it costs a fortune. 3 digits, not like 4 digits or 5 digits, but 3 digits, which is way more than my budget. So I found this copy. I don't know if they're still available. I don't know if I can show. It comes on like a really cool blue. I'm not gonna take it out. The label is similar to the original one. It brings like this OB with information, and you have like an extra kind of newspaper or something like that, or fanzine kind of type of informative thing, but I think it's in Spanish. But anyway, this band, if you like that kind of jazzy fusion, proggy from Frank Zappa, you're gonna love this. You're really gonna love this album. It's amazing. All the musicians are great, especially the drummer. He has a drum solo on the B-side. Man, if you don't know this, you have to check it out. If you love prog rock, jazzy fusion, you really have to check it out. So yeah, it should be more well known, this band. I don't see almost I almost don't see anyone on YouTube mentioning Costa Blanca. So there you go. A prog album that gets better every time you spin it. One that reveals something new with each listen. And I'm gonna say it could have been quite a few options, but I'm gonna go with Flash Out of Her Hands. It's a band from Tony Banks, who has been on Yes. I believe most of you prog rockers already know that. I'm not teaching anyone, but yeah, this album is the third album. They put out three albums. This is the third one. I like the first two better than this one. I like them all, to be honest with you. But between the three, if I have to choose one that I don't like as much as the other two, it's the third one, but still is a very good album. And because of that, every time I re-listen to the Flash discography, because it's only 3 records, when I get to this one, I always find something that I haven't noticed before, and it gets better every time I listen to. So right now, this is my choice. Okay, 7th prompt. Your favorite prog album cover art matters because album artwork is a huge part of progressive rock. Now, in other tags, I already shown my favorite covers in terms of prog rock, being one of them, Thick as a Brick, and probably one of the other ones, it would be the album of Mann, the Welsh band. But I'm gonna go with something different for you guys. Maybe you never heard about this band. It is a Portuguese band, and it's from 2000 and something. It's not a new band. I don't know if 2010, probably this record. They only put out 2 records and then they vanished. And they're not preaching the Pope. I don't know, you can see like, if you put to the light, you have the name of the band, which is the Quartet of Voix, and the name of the album is Ultra Bomb. So it has like this comic book 70s sci-fi approach, which I really, really love. And you have the faces. No, the faces are on the label. Yeah, this is like the inner sleeves, and the faces are on the label of each of the musicians. They're 4, Quartet of Voix, obviously. So this is a prog album, a prog rock album. They pretty much are waving into the cliche, to be honest with you, because we never had like a band like sounding like this back in the 70s. We had like prog rock, but not at this level. And these guys are amazing. So I'm showing Quartet of Voix. If you guys don't know, they only put out 2 records. The other one is really a big cliche. Every song reminds me bits of other songs. So they put a little bit of everything, including bits that sound a little bit more like The Doors, bits that sound a little bit more like Beatles. But the main thing is like going towards a prog rock approach from the 70s. Really, really great band, man. I'm really sad that I never had a chance to see them live. Friends of mine say they were amazing. Okay, prompt 8, a prog album you didn't get at first, one that took time before it clicked. So I'm going to show Nexus from Argent. This is a different cover from the US one. I prefer the US one. This is the UK, but I was pretty lucky to find a copy that is signed by Rod Argent. So yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I didn't blink when I saw this. I bought it with other albums from Argent. Another one has the Rod Argent autograph, but this album probably is the one that kind of makes me start rethinking if I still want to go forward in Argent career or not. It has some good moments, some good prog moments, especially on the B side. Usually on B side, they go really proggy more than the A side because they have also very commercial songs. It's kind of like this, I don't know, a psychedelic pop prog rock band. I don't know. They'll be they good composers. They can do like songs to play on the radio, but they can do like really good prog songs as well. And I believe that Rod Argent is actually one of the most underrated keyboardists in the prog rock scene. But anyway, just my opinion. So this album, I'm still getting into it. I like it, but I need to spin it a little bit more, just to get to that point that I got what they wanted to do. Um, okay, number 9, the most emotional prog album in your collection, not necessarily the most complex, the one that hits you personally. So this is the album that people usually say, oh, they didn't stand to the test of time or something like that. But I totally disagree, man. I totally disagree. It doesn't show me like something new every time I listen to it, but it's still all the emotions that I felt when I first heard from top to bottom this record. They're still there every time I listen to it. And I'm talking about the famous Tubular Bells from Mike Oldfield. And this is like a really first UK press from Virgin with the logo done by Roger Dean. And this one is a little bit more harder to find, not expensive. Let's say that there were a lot of people selling it on Discogs, and I had to buy 3 times until I get the correct label. Okay, let's say it like that. It was like, I don't know, 2 years ago or 1 year and a half ago, something like that. Man, it was like a terrible experience. But when I got this one, I was really pleased because I really wanted one with a black and white label. So there you go. That's my choice, especially when he goes in the end of the side A, when it goes like to man, it's so epic. It doesn't make emotional in terms of like it's a controlled emotion, but it's like a roller coaster. It goes all over the place, and people don't think that it connects that well nowadays. I don't know. It works for me. It really works for me, and I listen to a lot of different prog rock bands and artists. So yeah, it's just my opinion. Number 10 and last one, your gateway prog album recommendation, the album you'd give to someone who says they don't like prog. Now, here's my opinion. My opinion has to be, if I was showing prog rock to someone younger than me, I had to get with something that they already know a little bit and start with that and try to include a little bit of all the stereotypes that a prog rock includes. So it has to have the organ, it has to have rhythm, it has to have a little bit of the epic song, commercial, kind of not ballad, but a little bit softer rock, a little bit of everything. And let's say that I believe that Colosseum Valentine's Suite would be a really, really great, I don't know, suggestion to someone who's trying to get into prog rock for the first time. Especially because Fatboy Slim, which was part of a band in the 80s, the House Martins, who had that hit single, The Caravan of Love. So yeah, and he became a DJ in the 90s, and he has a song, I think it's from the 2000s album, if I'm not wrong. He has a song that like, push the tempo, and he has a sample from the beginning of the first song, Kettle. What's the name? Sorry guys, I'm terrible with names. If you guys follow me already, you already know that names are not with me. Well, I'm gonna take it out. The Kettle, yes, it's the Kettle. Oh, dumb. Okay, and that's it. And it's one of the few UK vertigo swirls that I have with Inner that does this wider swirly effect. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna leave the links down below to both channels, Beer and Vinyl and North Carolina Vinyl Picker, and their videos related with the tags. I hope you guys support them. Subscribe the channel if you didn't do it yet. And let's give it a go, because this was quite fun. That's it. I don't have anything else to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you soon. That's it. Over.